Welcome everyone. Good morning. Welcome to South India Business Week, day 9 for education panel today. Today in this panel, we have Pradhika ma'am. Ma'am is a handwriting analyst, numerologist, past life regression therapy, and color and drawing analysis services ma'am provides. And we also have Rangalakshmi Srinivasan ma'am. Ma'am is a principal and secretary for Basaveshwara Education Institutions. We have Yashaswini ma'am. Ma'am is the executive director at for IT at Garden City University. We also have Amit Patil sir joining us. This is the Faculty of Economics. Amit Patil sir is running late, so we'll start the panel and sir will join us. So for today's topic of discussion, we are talking about holistic education, integrating alternative learning modalities into mainstream education. So my first question about this topic is to Rangalakshmi ma'am. So ma'am, how do your educational institution promote a holistic approach to education?
Yeah. So, good morning, everyone. We include physical development, mental development, and skill development for 45 minutes in each day so that the students, they'll be going through the syllabus, whatever the syllabus is allotted. So, another 3 periods like 40 minutes physical, 40 minutes mental, 40 minutes skill development periods will be allotted. And we conduct a lot of community projects. We conduct karate, we conduct yoga, we conduct laughter yoga, we conduct robotics, we conduct AV, we conduct computer. So big thing, see, in before, pre-corona, so there were very less subjects to be taught. Along with that, extracurricular activities, one or two periods in a day. But now, post Corona, what has happened? The students are not much interested in going through the books. They all are interested either going through the mobiles. You must be knowing. You must have seen students,
Yes,
children at
yes.
your home.
Everyone is into
Yeah.
mobile phones.
Yeah. So what we have done, we have included mobile also in the curriculum. Like we give assignments, like in the mobile. We say hey, home video assignment. So we give one topic and they have to talk about it, and that should be shared to the group so that the usage of mobile will be in a proper manner. Tomorrow, that they will know how to present in online presentations. So many things they are learning. So we should go as per the generation, not as per our syllabus, correct? Because nowadays generation doesn't like, if you keep on saying maths like this, practice, no, they will not do it. They start hating the maths teacher like that. So we do a lot of activities along with the subject, and this, like when they are doing it, so what happens, teamwork will be improved, and like their social connections, that will be improved, the way they talk, the talking or speaking should be proper. So all, and behavior pattern, that attitude of a child or of attitude of a student will be taken care of when we do all these activities, which is nothing but a holistic education.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. Those are really like new methods of integrating the different types of educations into this system to help this generation. So thank you for that. Now, my next question is for Pradhika, ma'am. So, ma'am, how can alternative learning modalities such as handwriting analysis or a numerologist can compete with traditional education methods, ma'am, in promoting holistics?
Yeah, so hi, good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to have a discussion here. So, basically, in today's world, what we all are missing out is we are competing with one another instead of looking forward for our self growth. We are not happy with what we have, rather, we are sad, we are grieved by seeing what others are having, and we are missing out.
Yeah.
So these holistic and alternative therapies and science help us to connect with ourselves and to understand what we actually want. We, with the development of this modern techniques and technology, we have lost the connection with ourselves. We don't know how to sit idle. Even if we are sitting on a chair, our legs are always like flickering, our hands are doing like this, something or the other. We cannot
Always
sit
scrolling.
idle. Yes. Even if we don't have anything to work on the mobile phone, we still will look at the screen.
Yes.
We want to look at the screen. We don't know what we are looking at.
Yeah.
Everyone has law, because we just don't know how to sit and with oneself, with ourselves. Okay, so this alternative medicines or therapies, what we call alternative science, it helps us to get reconnected to oneself. Through these practices, we know how and what we want. Today we don't know how to say no, because if we say no, we are considered selfish. But somewhere you have to know your boundaries, and sometimes saying no is not being selfish, but it is for your self development, self growth, and for your self protection. Like if a girl is saying rejecting a boy, the boy is considering that she is adamant, she is arrogant, she is and then a lot of different cases are happening, we see around. Lot of mishaps are happening. Why he can't understand that a girl is not interested in you, right? So a lot of things are happening. Parents can't listen, know that why my kid doesn't want to be an engineer or a doctor, why he wants to be a musician. It's so, and there starts a drift between parents and kids. So we need to understand that it's not a bad thing that you cannot say no. We are on the verge, like every day we are listening that depression is rising, suicide cases are rising, because we don't know our boundaries. And when we are unable to meet those expectations, we resort to the easiest method, that is committing suicide. But committing suicide is the most tough decision. People think that it's the easiest decision, but it's not. It's the worst decision you can take. And once they are surviving that suicide, they are made feel guilty for, are they crazy or are they what not. They are not helped out, rather they are made more like guilty of what they have committed. So these alternative science will help us to understand where we need to learn to say no, where we need to take a stand for ourselves, and if the other person is getting affected, we can help them out as well. Like if I'm saying no to someone, I'll know how to say and present my point of view, so that the other person, if I'm saying no to my parents, that no dad, I don't want to do this today, so I'll not say no in a way that he feels hurt. But with these psychological assessments, I can make my point very clear to him that yes, I'm not feeling connected to this. Maybe at a later stage I can try, once I have that keen interest. So that we are on the middle path.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel hurt, and he's not forcing or imposing himself on me. So in this way, this is going to help the society at a stretch, at large, basically. And we should introduce all these things at school level, because these things start at a very young age, where we start competing with one another. Schools may we have been always listening that he's coming first, why you are coming last. But if he's coming first, then someone has to come last,
Yeah.
so that he can come first. But we are not accepting that fact. Why you are coming last, we are always running behind that. But since he's coming first, then only that student is able to come first. So this is how something can help.
Yeah, that is true, ma'am. We need to have all different point of views to understand the student properly. So my next question is for Yashaswini, ma'am. So, ma'am, as a director of IT, how do you see technology supporting the integration of alternative learning modalities into curriculum?
Uh, Thank you. Thank you for having me in panel discussion with this amazing panelist. And before I take up your question, I would like to start with telling a little bit about the institution that I work for. I work for Garden City University. We are a state private university in Bangalore, Karnataka. We are a 30-year-old institution. We started at 1992, and we started as an institution. Now we evolved to become college, and now we are a university from 2016. We have about 52 plus odd courses focusing mainly on science and management and engineering. So this is a little bit about Garden City University before I start and begin to take up the question. So, in my role, I see technology as a powerful enabler for enriching learning experience. It can be anywhere, be it anywhere. Earlier, when we started with technology integration with education, we started with projectors. Now we have evolved, we have moved to interactive boards, learning management systems, or digital library, digital podiums. And it is also becoming very important that technology integration in the education is becoming very vital because students are demanding for conceptual clarity. And these concepts that blended learning is also gaining vital importance. Blended learning meaning both traditional classroom as well as online. More. Both, doing both is something known as blended learning. And we are also trying and evolving from blackboard teaching to diverse learning styles. Now it is interactive tools like storyboard is becoming very very prominent, where history and literature is taught using storyboards. Flipped classroom is another technology that it's becoming very important, and it is something that the tool that institutions are looking forward. So here at Garden City University, as an IT role or IT department, we also embrace technology's potential. We try and aid wherever technology integration possible in many ways. Some few examples that I would like to mention. What we are doing at the Garden City University is we have established a strategic partnership with Coursera. That means students, along with their regular subjects and regular curriculum, they get to learn additional modules. Means a student from management can also learn AI, and a student from biotechnology can also learn something in management subjects. So that we are trying to, we have been doing this. We are one of the first institutions to bring that blended learning or blended modules into our curriculum, where students get to learn apart from their regular courses what the other modules or the which help them, basically which help them to become industry ready. This we have been following, and we have improvised it by establishing strategic partnership with Coursera. Coursera is one of the platforms which I think most of us would be aware of, and also the subjects like it's generative AI, advanced machine learning. These are gaining very much importance. And a student who is in management is also, it is important for them to know what is a generative AI, or what is a machine learning, what is a data science, because it becomes important when they transition from the college to the industry. So this is one of the examples that I gave, that we are doing at Garden City University. We are also giving our student access to broader range of courses, meaning we try and teach them open source softwares. One such example is Jira, which is a project management tool. So this will make them job ready. And one also, we help them and teach them skill enhancement courses. That is one of the curriculum we try and bring in our curriculum apart from the regular subjects. Skill enhancement courses meaning bioinformatics and biostatistics. Basically, these are the tools for BSc genetics students that we try and implement. So what is our role in this bringing this integration? Is as an IT department, our first role is to make the right resources available for the seamless integration, meaning we need to have the right resources to bring these tools on board. That means computers, right internet connectivity, or even adequate number of devices that is required. Identify what are the open source softwares, try and implement, because teachers say or faculties tell that this is what is required in their curriculum, And we as an IT department, we take the responsibility, or we try and take the responsibility to bring in these additional modules in the in a part in the curriculum. That is one such thing that we are doing at Garden School University. We believe that technology and teaching should go hand in hand, and that is something that we are trying to do at Garden City University.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And it is really true, ma'am. Like integrating technology is very important for this new generation. Like this generation is always into screens or into mobiles, as Pradhika ma'am also mentioned. So my next
Yeah.
question is for Amit Patil, sir. So, sir, how can economic theories and principles be used to inform the integration of alternative learning modalities into the curriculum?
Right. So first of all, a very good morning to all of you. Good morning, Lohita. Good morning to the panelists. It's a great honor for me to be sitting amongst such inspiring panelists. I also would like to extend my wishes to the audience who are watching us over a Zoom call. So thank you for your question, Lohita. In terms of economic principles, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is basically the cost benefit analysis, right? So this is one of the framework which we as educators, which we, let's say, as management who is running an educational institutions, can use to inform about the alternative learning methods. But now the thing is, there are a lot of alternative learning techniques. So if I had to speak about it, I'm sure it would take us a lot of time, but let me try to keep it brief to certain few of the alternative learning methods which I think we are seeing are becoming quite ubiquitous, in the sense that post COVID we are seeing these type of alternative learning trends pick up the pace. The first one I would like to speak about is online learning. We have online learning. We can see that a lot of universities and colleges all over India are kind of now offering bachelor's and master's program in online version. And I know some of the universities as well offer uh, doctorate programs in online version, which I'm sure is a great milestone for us as a country, for us as a developing country. First of all, why? Mainly because we as developing nation need to invest a lot of time, effort, and money in education. So I'm really happy to see the evolution of educational institution, especially higher education institutions, offering online programs which makes education more inclusive. For example, we might be having women who for some personal reasons or familiar reasons might have to discontinue their education. We also see a lot of men who struggle with post 30s and 40s and 50s with education. And given that right now we are at the threshold of a technological change as a world, as a country, I think such alternative learning methods like online learning is going to prove like a great boon for us as a country. Two of the other alternative theories that I want to talk about is also project-based learning, which I tend to utilize as an educator, which I tend to use as an assessment method for my students. So basically, traditionally, so far, people who are born in the 90s, 80s, 70s, and 60s, we have seen traditional ways of assessment where the only way of assessment is examination. And in my personal view, examinations are nothing but a test of your memory. And what I personally feel is that when we graduate from higher education institutions, or let's say even further education institutions, people tend to work even after the 11 and 12 plus. We do not necessarily memorize something from the book and go to work, right? We go to work to brainstorm with our colleagues. We go to work to do something to solve a particular problem that a company is trying to solve, right? And in that sense, the method of assessment, which is using typical examination methods, I really don't think would help us in the long run, right? Obviously, it's good to know, it's good to test their students on the fundamentals, but it's also very important for us as educators, as educational institutions, to realize that there are alternative learning methods like project-based learning. So here, basically, we try to emulate what people would be doing in their work life, right? For example, we would be brainstorming on a particular product idea. Sorry, my voice is a bit shaky. I'm having cold and fever, so please excuse me. Uh, so I was saying, when we are a company, we tend to brainstorm with our colleagues, right? Let's say hypothetically you were working at Flipkart, you might be thinking about a new service offer which you want to offer to your customers. So brainstorming is a thing that we do as a employee at a company. And what type of assessments would help in student in developing in that area? I think classroom discussions, right? And the another form of sub technique within the project based learning is doing market research, understanding the company, understanding your customers. So when I give such assessments for my students, I have seen a lot of positive comments regarding the type of assessments I have undertaken as an educator at the two institutions that I work. uh, uh, and the last alternative method that I want to really talk about is experiential learning. So very recently, AIIMS in Delhi introduced AI-based solutions for its students and doctors and professionals, which basically would help oncologists, people who work in the cancer department. So I think such experiential-based learning, which are technologically driven by data, I think will definitely help us to analyze the cost and benefit aspect of how this particular alternative method is going about. But then also, as economists, we tend to get carried away with a lot of monetary aspect of the analysis. So I would also like to speak about the non-monetary aspects of the cost and benefit analysis, right? Even the non-monetary cost and benefits can be analyzed to understand the student satisfaction, to understand the employee engagement, employee in the sense the educators. So I think by having this framework, we can definitely have a bird's eye view regarding the alternative learning methods in higher education.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your views there. So my next question is for Rangalakshmi, ma'am. So, ma'am, how to ensure that both traditional and non-traditional learning methods are balanced in your education institution's curriculum?
Will you repeat again?
So, how do you ensure that both non-traditional and traditional methods of education are balanced at your institution?
Yeah. See, traditional, even though the country is advanced, the planet is advanced, the traditional values are still maintained in all the families, almost all the families of the nation. So we should respect that, because normally, like education includes everything. See, always education starts from home. Mane madala patashala. That is, home is the first school of the child. So they learn all traditional values up to 3 or 4, 5 years of age. And once they get back to the school, we should not deny that they are bad or they're not needed, whatever it is. Because, like they have to balance, that should be, because we should also carry forward the traditional values of our nation or of our family to the next generation. That is very, very important. So what we do, we monthly once in our school, we have nursery to 10th standard. So monthly once we conduct some festival or some exhibition which is related to the family values, societal values, traditional values, so that the child should not miss out tomorrow that this is not taught in the school. So, and this also, technology advancement is also very important, because, like up to fifth or sixth, they will be behind their mothers and fathers. When after coming to seventh and sixth, they say, hey, no, you don't know anything about our school or whatever it is. And I have seen many students after coming to eighth, ninth, they do not allow their parents to attend meeting also. So you must have observed that in your homes. So only up to third standard, fourth standard, they'll be behind their mothers and fathers. When they come to fifth, there'll be little bit of communication gap. Eighth, ninth, and all leave. So, and when they go to college, no. So, but it is not that they are not bad or they're not learning. They think that there is a difference of learning from the school to the parent, because there is a lot of advancement. They think scientifically whatever they do traditionally, we will be telling them what is the science behind the traditional practices they are doing. But even then, nowadays you have seen, like, what whenever we say something, immediately they go home, open Google, just check it. So it is not that they have to verify from their parents or from the scholars or whoever it is. So, like, like we will be telling that. So in the school, like when we do some activities regarding traditional thing, we will tell, go on checking Google. So instead of them checking in Google, We only tell them go and check in Google. So they'll be like this, next day they will come with different ideas. No, in this it was like this, in this it was like this, in this it was like this. So that means what is happening, both traditional and scientific levels of learning are coming in the schools, and it is very challenges for the school and the teachers. Okay, because sometimes teachers, they don't find time to discuss all these things in the class. They'll be behind the syllabus and they want to finish the portions. And these students nowadays, see, including 10th standard, so they don't raise questions sometimes. They raise questions on all the aspects except subjects. Okay, the teachers are worried. See what is happening to these students. They like this. They are not raising questions because pre-corona, the teachers were getting prepared for the class and going, because they were supposed to answer tough questions. Now it is not a challenge for the teacher. They can just do whatever they want. But the questions they ask, it is something related, to the websites or Google or something. Some now we must be knowing a lot of sexual things are coming in the Facebook, that this and all. See, they want to know more about it than all these subjects. So it is, like we are balancing. See, we are having counseling classes, and we are taking, monthly once we conduct one session, so that we will ask all the students, you ask whatever question you want. So include some 6th standard student. Last week when they had questions, he was asking what is rape, what is group rape. So these things are coming in the news, and the students are very much interested. But the parent is not answering. She will tell the student, go and ask in the school, because these she cannot answer. She is telling her. We tell them that you have to speak to them. But like it a lot of challenges for the schools. We have to learn subjective also. We have to learn this also. And you know what? After 5-10 years, I think there will be huge demand for teachers who know traditional, non-traditional, technical, non-technical, holy this is environmental, non-environmental, everything, all kinds of questions we will get it out. And the teachers should be, more intelligent than the present day. And this we have included in our schools. We are, as per your questions, we are facing those so many problems with the students, but we are solving it also. So before we were calling the schools as a student centric or child centric. Now I am calling it as learning centric, because the student is learning, teacher is learning, management is learning,
Yeah.
parent is learning. So it is not that the student centric or child centric. Now the days have become learning centric for all. So I think my question is answered.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Those are actually very interactive techniques which you are following there. And that is true. It is a continuous learning process for everyone. And now my next question is for Pradhika, ma'am. So, ma'am, could you share an example of how one of these methodologies has helped the students in their academic or personal growth journey?
Yeah, so here I would like to share an example of a young girl. She was around 8 or 9 when she came, her mother brought her for consultation. And superficially, when you meet an 8 year, 9 year old kid, how do you feel? Like chubby, gullible, enjoyful. They are playing around. So she seemed perfectly fine. So at a glance, my take was, why did you bring her to me? Because I don't find any problem with her. So going forward, I took her handwriting and drawing samples, for which I normally do for the kids, because handwriting cannot be 100% interpreted for that age group. I took her drawing samples as well. And when at first glance only, my question to her mother was, is she really very violent? Because she has got lot of suppressed anger inside her, and that kind of anger, even if an adult carries, it can burst your mind. It can burst simply. So she said, I don't know the I don't know about the anger, but when we speak together,
Ma'am, your voice is disturbed. No, ma'am.
just a second, I'll
Yeah,
try
now
to
it is
connect.
good.
It's good. Okay. So when she said, that during nights when I sleep with her, she has a tendency to hit. And one night in her sleep, she hit me so badly that I felt that I have a wound on my head. So since that night, I have been sleeping on the other side of the bed, facing other side, because I can't sleep just beside her. I don't feel safe. So the anger was coming out in the during the nights. So we started doing handwriting and color therapy for the kid. But I assured her mom that her suppressed emotions are going to come out. But I don't know how it is going to come out, because every person responds in a very different way. She can cry, she can get violent, she can get aggressive, she can start speaking badly. I don't know how it is going to come, but you have to be patient with her during that phase, because it is she is going to express it to you only. So just be patient, because at that age when a kid gets like angry or starts throwing things, as a parent we used to we are supposed to calm them down, and we start getting angry ourselves. We get agitated that why they are behaving like that, instead of speaking or listening to them. So after around 45 days of therapy, she responded. And one night she was all crying, and the mother called me at around 3 o'clock, speaking about all these things, that the way she was crying for last 4 to 5 hours, when she started stating all her feelings, what she has been going through over the past 4 5 years, because she was a single mother. She got separated from her husband. So how her dad was treating her whenever she used to go to meet him, or how her grandparents were taunting her that you have left with your mom, or how the school kids were bullying her because she would never come to parent teacher meeting with her father. So all those suppressed emotions were creating a sense of anger, because she was unable to retaliate, and that anger would come out during her sleep, when she would have bad dreams, or she would have the recurrence in her mind, the events going on throughout the day. So that pacified eventually with the help of therapy after 4 to 5 months. And after 6 months, I got the first photograph that she was awarded the All India Champions Award in the abacus competition at Chennai. So her growth was tremendous actually, and it was a reward for me.
Yeah, that is really awesome, ma'am. That is really nice to see a change like that. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for sharing that wonderful story
thank you
with
so much.
us. Now, my question is for Yashaswini, ma'am. So, ma'am, how do you ensure that students and educators have access to necessary digital tools and resources to explore these alternative methods? You're muted, ma'am. You're on mute.
Accessing to digital tools, to teaching environment, first we have to understand is equitable access to technology. That means first is having right resources, meaning robust IT infrastructure. So that is where we play a vital role as an IT department, or IT department being it in any institution, not just university or college. First is to having equitable access for technology. That is having robust IT infrastructure right from starting. Internet connectivity is there. The devices are working properly, then maintain the devices properly. So this is where first this is the fundamental step that we need to take care, and then also concentrating on well-equipped labs. Labs is very important. So when this happens, next thing is adaptability. That is faculty adaptability, student adaptability. Always when any new technology comes into picture, or industry or market, there is always a hesitation. What is all this? Already we are having so much of work, and then again you are asking us to do extra work is always faculty's perspective. So we have to make them understand that these tools or these technology that we are bringing into picture is to make their life easier. So that understanding we have to create within the faculty environment. So once their adaptability happens, then student adaptability happens because student follows faculties. When they see the faculties are getting into the digital platforms or getting adapted into the digital platforms, or when they see the faculties empower the technologies, students follow. So what happens? So first is having the right resources. Next is bringing the adaptability. And then once this adaptability, everything happens, then we can make sure the right output is achieved, is what I personally believe. So even when COVID happened, as Rangalakshmi madam was saying, pre-COVID and post-COVID, how the difference happened, even when the COVID happened, and the institutions and the faculties had to immediately shift to the online mode, it became very difficult. There was always that hesitation, and still there is some of the faculties, they do not completely agree on the online model or online teaching. So, so what I was trying to say is, um, at GCU, even during even post COVID, or I would not even say post COVID, at our institutions, even before COVID hit, we were always ahead of this adaptability. We were already moving into the online mode. We did not realize that COVID is coming up, or anything is happening. We were already moving into online mode. That means our assessments were happening online. So what happened? Our faculties, it made easier for them to adapt to the online mode very easily. That means since the assessments or the exams were happening online, the next thing was try and making them to um, come into the online teaching, embrace the online teaching. So that happened actually very easily for us because we were already ahead of it. And that is one of the credit that I would like to take as an at the Garden City University, that we are always ahead of the adaptability. So, what in conclusion, what I would like to say is, to what is our role to bring in the adaptability of the digital tools for easy integration of the extra curriculum or alternate modalities into the curriculum, is first is having the right resources. Next is adaptability, faculty adaptability, student adaptability. Not just giving them the resources. You need to make them understand that yes, these technologies are going to make your life easier. These technologies and tools are going to make your work easier. Next is continuous training. Training is very important for them, and training and following up of the training. Wherever they get stuck or wherever they need help is where we need to be there, and we need to try and help them out. So this I would like to conclude by saying these are the three things that
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. Now, my question for Amit, sir. So, sir, are you with us? Yes.
Yeah.
So, Amit, sir, how
Yes.
do you see the role of technology in facilitating this adaptations of alternative learning methods into economic education?
Right. Uh, so first of all, I would just like to echo what just Yashaswini ma'am said regarding some hesitation from the educators' part to actually adopt technology in their teaching approach, right? So we've been post-COVID, we have been seeing there have been some educators who still believe in offline mode of education, which is fine. But luckily, we have some educational policies which was introduced due to the NEP, National Education Policy, as a result of the 2020s policy, where particularly the UGC through Malviya Mission Teacher Training Program for higher education educators, they have, though currently it's a pilot project, it still needs to scale up in terms of the number of higher educational institutions it's going to reach up. But the UGC has identified the needs of those higher education educators, and one of the training aspect for such higher education educators is technology. So I think right now we are at a phase where we need to actually train and educate our educators in terms of utilizing the proper technology. But then if you had to ask me regarding the techniques that can be helpful in the alternative learning methods, I think one of the tools that we used, I kind of have different flavors for the answer, so I hope people won't mind. So I have the honor of working for a tier 1 MBA college and as well as a tier 2 commerce college, so I can see the wide differences in the way they operate, in the way they deliver courses. So one of the things that I notice is the data analytics tool. So what particularly happens here is we as educators, we just not only are responsible for delivering courses to the students, but we are also trying to see the background of the student. For example, we are kind of verifying from what educational backgrounds they are coming out to this college, right? So for example, at the BCom college where we teach, we try to see if the students are coming from PUC science background, which is like 11th and 12th science background, or if they are coming from arts background. So for them, we need to have a special kind of course delivery system, like a personalized learning, which kind of acts like a scaffold for those students to actually learn things at a better rate. Because students who traditionally come from the 11th and 12th commerce background and then they take a BCom degree, for them it might be relatively easier to ace the course and the examination. But I also need to significantly address those problems. Second thing is just like what Yashaswini ma'am and Rangalakshmi ma'am were saying, the online learning portals. I think this is also one of the most important aspects, given that you just said, Lohita, that a lot of students are now spending a lot of time on their screens. So because of students would like to access few notes and materials when they are at their home, when they are at their comforts, I think LMS portals also prove to be a great blessing in disguise for us educators and for students. Lastly, I would also like to talk about certain collaborations and partnerships that has been happening with a lot of educational institutions all over India. For example, in our college, we have seen students taking Bloomberg professional certification. So this is nothing but a financial trading platform where you'll be given a virtual currency to trade. So in this sense, technology is being utilized in MBA and commerce colleges where students have real world experience as well as they're able to use the technology. Having said that, still feel there is still a lot of scale that needs to be achieved in terms of the educational institutions, whether they are at the school level, whether they are at the further education level, or whether they are at the higher education level. We still need to see a lot of growth in terms of technological adoption. So yeah, that would be my 2 cents.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing that. And I see we are running out of time here. So I'd like to conclude this session. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining this. And I appreciate all of you for giving us your time. Thank you. And I hope to see you all again in the future and work with you again.
Thank you so much,
I
Lohita.
think we lost Yashaswini ma'am, but thank you, Yashaswini ma'am. Thank you, Rangalakshmi ma'am. Thank you, Amit sir. And also thank you, Pradhika ma'am, for joining here.
It's been a great learning experience for me listening to all the panelists. So thank you, Lohita, to you and your team for having me here. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also thank you everyone, all the panelists here, so
Yes.
that it's like same problem, whether it's a college, whether it's a school,
Yeah.
same problem all over the world. So somebody should sort it out, to make the generation progressive.
Yes, ma'am. That is true. So, thank you everyone for coming and attending this session with us. Thanks a lot. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you.